Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. And welcome to Thursday's edition of the DC Movie and TV Daily. And you are very welcome. My name is Mick Meanus. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Check me out on there. It's all about the movies, the TV, maybe a bit of other stuff. You'll have a laugh, we'll have a joke, we'll have banter. It's awesome. Yes, behind me on repeat since this morning has been the Joker trailer, the final Joker trailer. But come here. I've got a little bit of a rumour to tell you. There could be another trailer, a red band trailer, right? Now, the reason I'm saying this, and I'm hearing this on the grapevine, is both these trailers show you absolutely nothing. The good stuff, the main meat in the sandwich of this film. With all the complaints of DC movie trailers of the past, the Doomsday reveal, yada, yada, yada. This film shows you greatness. Both these trailers show you greatness from this film. But you haven't even seen the main event in these trailers. That's what's so clever, because people love both of these trailers. Kevin Smith loves it. He says, this couldn't be far more removed than a typical comic book movie, but he still likes it. Now, we all know that Kevin Smith absolutely likes everything. I mean, he'll criticise one or two things. He didn't like the Justice League movie, obviously, but most people didn't like the Justice League movie, so that's not a big deal. He does normally go with the flow. He works for these companies as well, but it's great to hear someone like, look, I love Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith is such a great guy. He's a talented guy, and he's a big DC fan as well. He's a big Marvel fan as well. He's basically the king of the geeks, isn't he? So it's great to hear someone like that saying so many amazing things about this film. Yes, but look out in September for a red band Joker movie trailer. We are really in a situation here, so clever, because you look at what they've done. They've made a movie that's literally cost nothing to make. I mean, we are so obsessed with box office today. And this is why every time you say anything against a Disney movie, $1 billion. But nobody talks about the content of their movies. This is a film that could make 600 million. But people will not be talking about that. People will be talking about this film for the rest of their lives. This is a film that will imprint on you, as I say, for the rest of your life. It's an amazing film because it's made in a very indie, gritty, dark way. But what's brilliant about this film, the usual accusations of DC movies being too dark can't hit this film, can't touch this film, because they've created this as part of the DC Black label. See your Grace Randolphs and your John Campiers and your Colliders, they can't sit there. Well, it's too dark, it's too violent. Yes, it's supposed to be. What's really clever about these trailers, you don't really see. You don't see any of the violence, the brutality in this film. That's what really, I think these trailers have been amazingly cut. And they're great. I want to talk about Zazie Beetz, actually, who I think could get lots of nominations. Now, I know nothing about this woman, apart from seeing her in the Joker movie. I think she's a singer. I don't know how she got this role, but she is brilliant. She is so brilliant in this film, and you're really going to fall in love with her performance. It's another brilliant bit of casting. Now, a lot of people think Robert De Niro being cast is a piece of stunt casting, and maybe it is. But Bob, what is he, in his 70s now? Maybe he's nearly 80? Looks amazing. And his performance, it's just great to have someone like Bob De Niro, a legend of film. When I say legend, because we don't have any actors like this anymore. I mean, probably Joaquin Phoenix and Leonardo DiCaprio is as close as you can get. Now, when we talk about this film and we talk about what this film means and what this film represents, it's about a comic book villain, right? The Joker, the most popular villain that people quote, that people make up, make themselves up as at Halloween, right? He's so massive. I mentioned that this film could make 600 million. I don't really believe that. I'm saying lowest case scenario. I think this film's going to make a lot of money. I still think this could be one of the first billion-dollar R-rated movies with people too young to watch it creeping into cinemas to watch it. I think a lot of that's going to happen. As I say, what's amazing about this film is that this is a gritty indie type of film, but it's about something everybody's interested in. And it's the intrigue level. Apart from the scripts being leaked, and apparently the scripts were changed all the time anyway, if you haven't seen this movie, you really know very little about it. This is a film. Now, of course, it is inspired by Taxi Driver. The comedian Scorsese kind of originally was involved with this movie and then got Todd Phillips involved, who did an excellent job. But it's as I keep on saying, it's the commentary on mental health disorder that was shocking to me. Really shocking to me in the sense of how they did it. And it's about the little guy. With your Instagram influencers and beautiful skinny people and people with rib dabs out there, this is about a guy who nobody notices. And a timid guy, easy to bully, easy to push around. But slowly, the more he gets pushed, the more his confidence rises up. And he allows his disorder to take over. But make no mistake, Arthur Fleck is a very, very highly intelligent and motivated character. He knows what he wants to do. He wants to push back, not just against his bullies, but the way society is run. And it's, as I've said before as well, and as Todd Phillips has said as well, this is not trying to inspire anyone to create a revolution, but with Trump's America and Boris Johnson's United Kingdom right now, and we've seen that Johnson wants to close down Parliament, this film couldn't have hit at a better time, a more relevant time. It's relevant to us all, whether you like comics, whether you don't like comics, whether you like CBMs or not. This is a CBM made in a very different way. Now, it's not preachy, but it is sending a message. Don't forget, this movie isn't even set in our era, right? It's set in the late 70s, maybe early 80s. I'm not quite sure. But basically, it's an interesting film in the sense that you see people smoking in it. You see Arthur Fleck, aka the Joker, smoking in it. And as I said yesterday, my favourite quote is, "Every day you ask me if I have negative thoughts, I have nothing but negative thoughts." It's the stuff like that. So I'm highly motivated for all of you to see this film. It's definitely an era-defining movie. Someone on my Instagram, when I was talking about the film, said, "Why do you think this is even going to touch Disney? How can this affect Disney?" And I'll tell you again, when people see this film, people are going to say, "I want more of this." Disney can't give you more of this. Disney cancelled a villain, a fairy tale villain show because it was too dark. They have no intention of making films R-rated. You can forget it. You can forget it. I think eventually they'll try it through the 20th Century Fox division, but I don't think they're able to do it with the people they have there. And they've sacked a lot of people from Fox, by the way, who could have done this for them. This is going to affect Disney. But even if it doesn't, even if Disney continue to make money, right, people are still going to want more movies like Joker movie. Now, when I say like, I don't mean just copy it, but the darkness, the grit, the sheer brutality of it, the real element of it. A lot of people said about Black Panther, this is a really important movie, but it wasn't. People said it was a really important movie because it was dominated with actors of colour in it, which was very important because you rarely see a film dominated with actors of colour. So in that essence, I suppose, yes, you can call it important. But the Joker movie is even more important because it's not representing different cultures or anything like that, but it's representing mental health disorder. It's representing what this society can force someone to become. And that commentary is the best representation you can get. So yes, that's my chat about Joker. As you can see, I'm going to be talking about this in my videos quite a lot. Now, there's a lot of you who watch me and subscribe to me and follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, of course, as I've mentioned. Shameless plug again. There's a bit of a discord. There's problems within the Release the Snyder Cut community. We have Will Rowlands, John Aaron Garza, Dave Pena, the Screen Junkie. Basically, these people are having a civil war. Most of you may have never heard of these people and not interested in Release the Snyder Cut. But I'm a big fan of Zack Snyder. I'm a big fan of his 2 DC movies. I think they're brilliant, unique and compelling. But I am not part of this kind of cult, if you like. I don't have pictures of Zack in my room. I don't pray to Zack before I go to bed. But I love Man of Steel and I love BVS. That's where I am. And there are people who are part of this, community, that think they set the rules. There's people accusing people of wanting to become famous from this Release the Snyder Cut movement. I don't have a problem with that. I don't care. I really don't care. So you've got Dave Pena and John Aaron Garza on one side, and you've got Will Rowlands on the other. Now, Will Rowlands is an actor. He got into this. He's done a lot of good for the Release the Snyder Cut movement. I like Will. But I also love Dave Pena. And I also love John Aaron Garza. John Aaron Garza has some unique thoughts about movies. He puts clips together. He does his own edits. He's a fascinating guy. Now, apparently, some people accused him of making light of Zack Snyder losing his daughter to suicide. John then came out and said, well, he actually lost a child as well. And I'm sorry to hear that, John, by the way. I'm very sorry. I don't have children, but if any of my nephews and nieces lost their lives, I'd be absolutely devastated. I don't know if I could ever get back to my normal life again. So that's a terrible thing, something I don't really want to talk about because I don't know how it feels. These accusations are not very good. But what's happening here with 3 people with very high follower rate, they are celebrities. Even Will now. They are, like it or not, you are celebrities of this movement. People look to you for what's going to happen next. Now, I'd like to kick you up the backside and tell you to make up, but that's not going to happen. My advice to you is shut the fuck up, stop going on about it, and get back to doing what you do best, fighting to release the Snyder Cut. Now, there's another guy called West Ashley, or whatever his name is, right? He got in my mentions when I was talking about knocking people's heads together. I had to block him, actually, because he was taking the mickey out of me with gifs. And the point is, this guy really is part of the problem. Now, he's become a bit of a celeb as well. But he's one of these people that I don't really think cares about the movement. He thinks he's clever. He's stirring things up. I have no time for people like that. And that's all the time I want to waste on this subject. Shut the fuck up. Get on with fighting to release the Snyder Cut. You've all done a magnificent job. You're part of my gang because you love and appreciate what Zack did. Now, looking forward to the new TV season, we've got all the Arrowverse shows coming back. I'm not particularly a fan of them anymore, but I'm going to start watching them because we've got this Crisis on Infinite Earth. So I'm going to watch all the episodes and I'm going to review them on here, probably on this daily show. Not quite sure how I'm going to do it. So I think that they come back in October. And we know that Danielle Panabaker, right, who plays Killer Frost, of course, she's directing an episode. I have a lot of time for Dan. She's a really good actress. She's been around for years, and she's doing a great job. And she's always so thoughtful and kind. So really looking forward to seeing what they do with Crisis. It's going to be interesting. I still think that everything's going to be all right. Neither Oliver Queen will die. Neither will the Flash vanish. They'll find a way to fix everything. But it's a very interesting thing that they've decided to do. But it's a thing you've got to be able to back up, especially seeing the point that they don't have the budget. But we shall see how that works out. So, did you enjoy the Joker trailer? What are your thoughts with the direction DC and Warner Brothers are going by having a separate Black Label division? And are you excited that we've got 6 films in production next year? I was talking to this same person on Instagram actually, and he was saying to me, oh, there's so many of these films stuck in development hell. He didn't seem to understand that Walter Hamada is now running DC movies. It's him who created the Black Label, and nothing's going to be stuck in development hell. If something's happening, it's happening. The Flash movie is going to happen. The Suicide Squad is going to happen. The Batman is going to happen. It's very exciting times for this franchise of movies.